BTS news. The news about the closeness of two BTS members, Jimin and Jungkook, or better known as Jikook, is back in the spotlight among the ARMY. Recently, fans found a series of evidence that supposedly reinforces the allegations that there is something more than just friendship between the two. Although until now there is no official confirmation, this excitement is enough to make the world fandom uproar. It all started with a short video posted on social media. In the video, it appears Jimin and Jungkook share a very intimate moment, not in a vulgar romantic context, but in a silence that speaks louder than words. The camera captures the moment Jimin slowly touches Jungkook's arm, followed by a look too deep for a friend. It didn't take long. The video went viral. Armies around the world began to dissect every second of footage, theorize, compare with past events, and relate to various similar interactions that had occurred before. Some fans even compiled a Jikook timeline, complete with analysis of body language, facial expressions, and even communication styles both on live broadcasts and official events. What makes this even more interesting is the fact that similar interactions seem to be happening more and more frequently these days. In the last variety show featuring all BTS members, there was one moment when the camera accidentally caught Jungkook looking at Jimin more than twice in a short period of time. Jimin's reaction? A slight smile followed by a small gesture approached Jungkook. But what was truly shocking was the discovery of a screenshot of an old VLive message, in which Jungkook accidentally said, "I'm happy today because you made me breakfast." Although it sounds simple, many fans believe that the hyung in question is Jimin, especially since they were known to live nearby at the time. Some ARMY deeper digging information began to find patterns that connect to many hidden events. Like when BTS was abroad and only Jimin and Jungkook were seen leaving the hotel together in the morning. Or when they put on each other's belongings, from hoodies, hats, to perfume. Small codes that, according to fans, cannot be a mere coincidence. There was also a faint audio recording of the live broadcast, in which Jimin's voice was heard calling out to Jungkook in a very soft tone, followed by a short, truncated phrase, "You always are." That is then the sound is turned off. This cut is considered the most suspicious moment, as seconds later Jungkook is seen pressing something on his phone, as if aware the sound was accidentally caught. Not a few fans also bring this theory to the realm of relationship psychology. They mentioned that the bond between Jikook showed strong emotional dependency, deep trust, and almost instinctive protection for each other. Many fans consider their relationship to have gone beyond labels and more to a form of closeness that is rarely found. Even in the entertainment world, one of BTS's former stylist staff even made a cryptic comment in an online Q&A session. When asked, who are the members closest to each other behind the scenes? He only replied with one short sentence, "You know the answer, even without me having to answer it." This news, of course, drew a variety of reactions. There are those who feel happy and supportive. There are those who ask that the privacy of both be respected. But one thing is for sure, the chemistry between Jimin and Jungkook is not something that can be ignored. Not only do they build a close relationship on stage, but they also seem to build each other's strength outside of the camera spotlight. Until now, there has been no official statement from Big Hit or the members regarding this matter. However, for most of the ARMY, the small moments they observed were enough to make their hearts melt. Regardless of whether or not something is really hidden, Jikook's closeness remains an interesting story that continues to animate the spirit of BTS fandom around the world. And if there's one lesson to be taken from all of this, perhaps it's that sincere relationships don't always need words. Sometimes it's just one look, one touch, or one smile, and the world knows there's something special between them. The most memorable moment occurred at BTS's 10th anniversary concert. That night, in the midst of thousands of cheering soldiers, Jimin and Jungkook sang a duet song with a very personal expression. In fact, at the end of the song, the two seemed to stare at each other for quite a while before Jimin lowered his head and Jungkook smiled broadly as he wiped the sweat from Jimin's forehead. Many fan cameras managed to capture this moment, and the video immediately became trending on various platforms. Some international enthusiasts began to translate the interaction in different languages. The hashtags #JikookProof and #JikookIsReal rose to the top of Twitter in more than 15 countries overnight. Many of them wrote messages of support, such as, "We don't need recognition. We just need them to stay happy together," and their relationship is the definition of pure trust and affection. Observers of Korean pop culture began to voice that such a phenomenon indicates a change in public perception of relationships between celebrities. In the past, this kind of closeness was often considered taboo or restricted by management. But now, the public actually appreciates healthy emotional closeness between group members, especially if it provides support and a positive influence on their mentality. Some fans also dug back old moments, such as when BTS was promoting the album Map of the Soul 7. At that time, Jimin and Jungkook had an interview together and looked very comfortable, finished each other's sentences, and laughed easily. Even Jungkook once said, "Jimin Hyung is someone who always knows when I'm not feeling well, even without me having to talk." That simple sentence seemed to be the key to all the dynamics observed by the ARMY so far. That behind the scenes, outside the spotlight, Jikook has its own space in each other's hearts. As fans' observation and enthusiasm for the dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook deepened, more and more small moments came to the fore. One of them was when the two appeared on a Japanese variety show a few years ago. In one seemingly light-hearted quiz segment, there was a question, "Which member do you trust the most?" Without hesitation, Jungkook replied, "Jimin Hyung," in a calm but confident tone. Jimin, who was sitting next to him, only smiled, a smile that at that time seemed ordinary. But now, with all the pieces of the story that unfolded, it seemed to contain a deeper meaning. Also no less interesting is how their interaction developed even in the period of conscription. Although now they are in different situations and locations, many fans believe that the two still support each other secretly. Some of the handwritten letters sent by BTS members to fans, despite not mentioning names explicitly, feel like they have hidden messages that only certain people can understand, and the ARMY faithful reading them certainly don't miss the possibility of a message from or for Jimin and Jungkook. There is also an old video that is now back viral, showing Jimin silent and staring at Jungkook as he was talking about his future. The look was not just awe, but looked like genuine affection, full of respect and pride. One fan commented under the video, "That look doesn't belong to an ordinary friend. It was the gaze of a person who saw his house in the figure of another person." This issue was even raised in a K-pop journalist community forum that discussed how fans could identify unique dynamics between members just from body movements. One observer mentioned that Jimin and Jungkook have what is referred to as nonverbal resonance, a kind of subconscious synchronization that allows them to respond to each other even before words are spoken. It is considered a very rare form of emotional connectedness. Jikook's proximity has also been a source of inspiration for many of the artworks created by the ARMY. Starting from fan art, fanfiction, to cinematic edit videos that describe their journey from group mates to become figures who strengthen each other in all situations. Some of these have even been exhibited in the digital art community, showing how genuine human relationships can cross the boundaries of the real world and touch the lives of many people. One of the most touching stories is the confession of a young ARMY man in Brazil who said that he managed to get out of a difficult period of his life because he saw how Jimin was always there for Jungkook, and vice versa. "I learned that love doesn't always have to be announced. Sometimes love lives in silence, in protection, and in a sense that not everyone has to understand," she wrote in an open letter that later went viral.